for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Stop doing those diet or workout fads to lose weight. Use the tried and true approach from Rockin' That Idea Life that helps you find balance while enjoying food in moderation and nourishing your body. Try the Lean 30 program at rockinthatIdealife.com and let today be your last first day of your weight loss journey.
When buying or selling your home, you need to feel protected. Realtor Mike Burgoyne not only looks out for your interests, but as a St. Louis area police officer will make sure you feel safe and well-informed with every decision. Email Mike at strikewithmike.com and start the process today. That's Mike at strikewithmike.com. Welcome to episode 17 of season 13. This is episode number, I don't have that correct, 448. Right? Yeah, that's right. Number 448 all time of the often imitated, never duplicated Mom, Phineas and Ferb making a title sequence. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to our sponsors, Dustin from rockinthatidlife.com and Realtor Mike Burgoyne. You can email at mike@strikewithmike.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. Also, don't forget to check out our t-shirt shop at letsgoblues.com for some well-designed and fairly priced blues-themed t-shirts. It's Thursday, February 1st, and we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and maybe somewhere else. Who knows? To interact with the show on social media, our handle on all social channels is at LGB Radio. Just search for us, and you'll find us. And if you haven't already done so, please like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, buy a t-shirt from our shop. Name your next pet Bill Day, or do whatever you can do to help us out. I'm your host, Jeff Pondard. I'm joined by Kurt Price. Bill Day is facing allegations, and producer Austin is grounded for watching an R-rated movie. The agenda for tonight includes the Blues.
Funny because it's true.
It's true. The Blues' interesting 5-game winning streak, the horrid loss to Columbus, the upcoming NHL All-Star Weekend, and much, much more. All that and more on this cuddly and cute edition of Let's Go Blues Radio. As I said, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Kurt Price. Sir, how are you tonight?
I'm good. And I do want to say that if people do search for us online and cannot find us, you are doing it wrong.
Yep. Correct. You could probably even type in Let's Go Blues Podcast, and I bet we come up everywhere.
I mean, we're not hard to find. You know, no one else has our name. There are other blues podcasts out there that have their name stolen by other podcasts that on ESPN or have their show name stolen by the Blues for their theme, and they get drowned out and all kinds of other stuff. But not us. No. Not us. We are out there.
We are the originals.
We are the originals, and no one dares take our name.
No. I mean, I get mad when I hear fans chanting our podcast name at the Blues games. I'm like, what are you doing? What do you want us to go live? Is that what you're saying? What's going on here?
If you listen carefully, when you hear the crowd go, "Let's go Blues," you can hear like 8 or 9 people in the crowd faintly saying .com after "Let's go Blues."
And then the other 8 or 9, there's other 8 or 9 people going, radio.
Right,
and so it kind of drowns out. So that's why you can't make out either of them.
Let's go Blues radio.
I'm going to start doing that at games now.
Yeah.
Yep. So getting into the show, we got a lot to talk about tonight, but we are on a break here for the Blues. So I say we take it a little relaxed more tonight, Kurt. Let's have some fun.
Kind of like the COVID break we had. We'll just take it easy and talk some lighthearted hockey.
Yes, I like it. Let's do that. So I guess to open, we've got a couple of announcements we want to make. First of all, kind of a crazy one, and I liked your response when I told you this earlier today, Kurt.
When you said it, I was like, you sounded to me. I took it as you being like shocked, and I was like, well, you did.
I mean, do you understand why I was a
Not-
little shocked though when I
I
explained
get
it?
it. I was half making fun. I was just but
Right.
Yeah.
No, and hey, that's well deserved. No, I, Jeff Ponder, am actually on Cameo now. So if you don't know what Cameo is, basically that's where this is where I chuckle. Celebrities go on there, and you basically go to cameo.com and you can pay to have them give you a shout out, whether it's like a birthday, a pep talk. I got one that I added where you can actually ask me to do a game recap for you. So that would be fun. And it's literally just like a personalized video that that you can get from, I know Blues personalities on there. I'm pretty sure John Kelly's on there. I know Alexa
Tom
Dad,
Calhoun,
Bernie Federico,
Mhm.
friend of the show, all friends of the show.
Chris Pronger's on there.
Pronger's on there. I know Jamie McLennan's on there. So, I mean, there's a lot of celebrities there, but somehow I made the cut. And what I was talking about with Kurt, literally, I messaged him and Bill today in Austin and said, holy shit, I'm on Cameo. And then I sent him the link, and Kurt was like, didn't you have to sign up for it? Why are you surprised? I was surprised because I know somebody who tried to get on Cameo. He's a YouTube gamer. He has a fair following. So somebody told him, try to get on Cameo. He's like, yeah, it's a good idea. He tried to get on there, and they said, no, basically, you're not famous enough. So I went on there for I was getting a one for one of my friends. I was getting one done for his birthday, and I just saw the link at the top, said join Cameo as a personality, and I was like, why not? Let's see what happens. Right away, I was accepted. It was like within 10 minutes. They were like, yeah, you're good. And I'm like, me? So
I had heard that they require some kind of a strong social media following for that kind of a thing, but I don't
they
know.
do.
I don't know how strict they are with it, or if they have exceptions, or what, or I don't know. But yeah, congratulations on that. Are you going to be doing them from your hot tub?
That's what Bill asked.
Yeah.
And I said, if somebody requests it, sure, why not? I'll do it from my hot tub. I don't care. I'll do it from anywhere. They can say, hey, next Blues game, send me one. Sure. All right. While I'm in the game, why not?
I don't think I would apply to be on there. I don't think I want to be on there because I know my friends would be paying the what would have to be a cheap price for no pun intended there, cheap price.
Yeah.
To have me say something ridiculously stupid. I could turn it down, but yeah, and so yeah, yeah. Godspeed to you with the ones that do request if someone does, and what they have you do. You'll have to keep us informed.
Yeah, I've been live on there now for probably about 10 hours. No requests yet, which, whatever. I will be surprised if I get one, but like you, though, I do think I'm going to get some of my hockey teammates that are going to be requesting some ridiculous shit. And I'm going to do it. Hey, as I said on Facebook, I clearly have a price, and it's $10.
Johnny Knoxville. Did you hear about Johnny Knoxville and what's his name? On
Steve-O?
Yeah, Steve-O. Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O had a cameo, and Johnny Knoxville created an alias and was screwing with him on there, and made him do all kinds of weird, stupid shit, and so much so, he harassed him, and so much so that he shut down his cameo, and he didn't find out about it until after that Knoxville.
That's
was
hilarious. Well, he's making money in the process. Knoxville had to been paying him.
I guess. I'm assuming Steve-O wasn't too cheap either.
Probably not.
Because
I'll say there's some people on there that are like $500, and I'm like,
yeah,
I am literally $10. So if you're looking for a cheap thing where you're like, maybe your friend or your girlfriend or whatever watches the show, hey, there's a $10 call out right there. That's very easy.
And keep in mind, he has a hot tub, so request it be done from the hot tub.
I will do it. I really will. I probably have my limits. I know there's going to be some crazy request that comes through. I will have my limits, but I'll tell you right now, I don't know what they are, so you might as well test them.
Do a Ned Braden from Slapshot.
Oh, that would be fun, but I would be cold as hell.
Fun? Be fun.
Oh, hell yeah, that'd be fun.
All right.
You telling me that wouldn't be fun? Do like a strip tease on the ice?
Fun's not the word I would use.
That'd be fun. I'd enjoy it.
Okay.
You might have to pay for my ice time to do it, folks.
It'd be something, but I wouldn't. From personally, that's not in the fun category for me. But you do you.
I will do me. Next announcement we have is actually regarding our friend Bill, who is not here tonight. He's got some obligations, but so when he does come back, it was suggested to us last week that we introduce a new segment. It's a new segment where Bill is going to break down the save of the week by a Blues goalie. So we're still working out exactly how this is going to work, but just want to let our audience know that is something we are working on. I think that is going to be a really cool segment because I love picking Bill's brain about goaltending. So we will do that. We got to figure out the schematics of it. And hey, if you're listening right now, throw out suggestions of names for this segment. That we'll have to have a graphic and everything. It'll be really cool.
I think we should do a graphic or a slight video intro, like a little 5-second video intro or something of a fantastic NHL save or something with some kind of voiceover as a just 5-second thing.
Yep.
Maybe you and I doing something, just like I don't know. We can write something, or if someone suggests something that we like, we can work that in. But that'd be this will be fun, just to kind of kick back and let Bill pick out the save that he's most fond of over the past week.
Yeah, you or I will have to do the legwork because Bill is technologically challenged. So we will do the getting the clip ready for him, but
Right.
yeah, we are just going to sit back and let him go.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be a big deal to grab a clip off YouTube, strip it down and present it for him. He can play it, rewind it, whatever.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Yep.
I have one quick thing. Last weekend, just want to toot my own horn. I mentioned last week on the show that I was probably not going to play in a pickleball tournament because my partner got hurt, right? So I ended up playing in it because there was a guy up in Springfield that didn't have a partner, was playing singles on Friday, was not going to play doubles on Saturday. That's when I was going to play in doubles. And the tournament director said, "Hey, why don't you, if I can get this guy to stay on Saturday and play, why don't you team up with him?" I said, "Okay."
Did you know this guy?
Did not. Never met him before. Didn't know who he was. And this was a 4.0 tournament. So, pretty good skill level tournament. He super nice guy. Met the guy on Saturday about 45 minutes or so before the tournament started. Real nice guy. Looked pretty good, in warm-ups, and we're practicing. Game started. And I could tell he was nervous. Probably not a 4.0 player, probably like a 3.5. So that was a little rough. But we got better as the day went on, and we were able to take home bronze for that in the men's doubles. There was a round robin, and they capped it at 9. So they wanted to do round robin, which I liked because you're some bracketed tournaments, you might double elimination. Say you lose in the first round, then you lose in the down bracket in a game to 15, and you're done. So you're out right away. When you pay $90-$80 wherever it is, and you're out. That kind of sucks. Round robin, you're guaranteed games. We were guaranteed 8 games. So even when we got rolled over, we were playing 8 games.
Yep.
So went 6-2. And we lost to the gold medal winners. We played them, the team that won gold. We had them, and we let them slip away. We had them. I think it was 8-7 us. Something like that, and you played 11, and they got by us. We made some mistakes, and so it was really fun though. Super fun.
Bronze is solid though, man. That's good.
No, I'm super happy with it. first time I'd played 4.0. So, and with a stranger, my God.
I was gonna say you know, when people know that when you play in any team sport, you learn how to play off each other, and the fact that you guys had to learn in the middle of a tournament is pretty good.
Yeah, well, my partner I've done multiple tournaments with, and I play with a lot in league play and stuff, and rec play. We play really well together, and we know how each other play. If we were paired together, I'm pretty sure we won gold, just the way we play together. But no, I'm super proud of the way we played up there. It was fun. So yeah, that was a lot of fun up in Springfield. The Prairie Stars 4.0 tournament. It was a good time.
You so did you actually get a medal for it?
I did.
Nice.
I don't have it's upstairs. I don't have them.
That's a shame.
I did. But yeah,
Oh, well.
my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kurt Price. All the games are up there. So
Nice.
I actually live streamed them all for my friends that watched. But yeah, and then I came home and cut it up and put each game up. Had some stupid over the top fun with the graphics and the intro. If you want to just go watch like the first 30 seconds of one of the videos and you'll see what I mean. It's just like I kind of went over the top stupid fun with it. Like it's
I do the same
a real
shit
sports production, you know.
Yeah, when I did my the last time I played pond hockey, unfortunately I couldn't this last time it froze, but the last time it froze, I got a bunch of helmet cam videos. Had the goalie put on my GoPro, and I'd wear it, and I got a bunch of different angles of stuff. And yeah, I did the same thing. I cut together like highlight reels, and it's just like it's so stupid because it's very low level, but it's so much fun to do it. And I'm like, I don't care if nobody watches this. I'm having fun putting this together.
It's fun to take stuff you do. It's not, you're not playing professional or, even amateur. I mean, you're playing amateur level stuff, but then you produce it like a video, like it's professional. It's just hilarious. I love it's comical to me. I like doing that.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Well, let's get to our official beers of episode number 448. I had it right there, but nowhere else. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. Kurt is at cprice12. I am jponder94. Bill is Billy Blue Note 33. Kurt, you've been leading us off, and Blues 5-1 in their last 6, so we'll stick with it.
Yeah, 5-1 in the last 6. Shouldn't have. You wouldn't think we'd have a lot to complain about, but we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a beer. I have a soda. I have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. But the thing about my the vessel that is containing my Pepsi Zero Sugar is the Voltron glass from Four Hands.
Nice.
It's the Yellow Lion. It's Hunks glass.
Sweet. That's awesome.
So, yeah. Amy got that for me.
That's a good woman.
Yep.
What soda is it? Did you say what it was?
Pepsi Zero Sugar.
All right.
Which like I said before, in my life, I've hated diet soda. This does not taste like diet soda.
My wife loves really good. She drinks the orange, what's that, Sunkissed?
Yeah.
Zero Sugar and the Pepsi Zero Sugar, and that's like all she drinks anymore.
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar is really good too. And I don't really drink a lot of soda until I tried this. I'm like, this is pretty good. I'll drink this now. So
I will forever be a Dr. Pepper hound until I'm literally told I can't drink regular Dr. Pepper anymore. I've had the Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. That's good too, but nothing beats the OG.
Oh, and I'm not going to say it's as good as real soda. Right. It's not, but it is way better than your old school Diet soda. Coke, Diet Pepsi. Oh yeah, that stuff sucks.
I agree. Yeah. So out of my chalice, my Duff beer glass, I almost did just grab a Dr. Pepper myself. So we almost had a dual soda show. But I thought, you know what? I could break into the winter reserve. I decided because I always grab a bunch of these at the end of the season.
Yeah.
O'Fallon pumpkin beer. I decided to pull that out. I said, why not? Let's have one. So that is my beer of the episode. One of my favorite beers throughout the whole season, throughout the whole year.
That's the beer that keeps giving the whole year for you, I guess.
I'll admit, I actually last year I was able to extend it out because I got enough where I had one in like June last year. And I was like, man, I'm probably not going to like this because I like the lighter stuff in the summer. And, it's so hot in St. Louis. It still kicks. It still rips, baby. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Pumpkin beer, I mean, it's not like you're drinking a stout. It's lighter than that. But I get you. I'm a totally a lighter, fruitier citrusy beer. Give me anything like that in the summertime when it's hot.
You'll
sure.
Summer shows whenever I do decide to have a beer of the episode. It's typically a summer shandy or a Leinenkugel, something like that.
For sure.
Yep,
for sure.
Well, let's get into it. We got some Blues roster news to talk about up front here. We'll roll through these pretty quickly. Mackenzie McEachern. I'm sorry, Mackenzie.
Does anyone care? Does anyone care about McEachern? I mean, really?
John Kelly does.
He's with the Blues. He's not. He's up. He's down. He plays sometimes. He's like, oh, he played this game. Didn't even see him out there. Who cares?
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway.
Turn the page.
I'm going to tell you about Mackenzie McEachern anyway. He is undergoing season-ending surgery on his right shoulder. He suffered the injury during the Springfield Thunderbirds 6-1 win over the Charlotte Checkers on January 27th. He's expected to be ready for 2024 training camp in September. I meant to look up his contract. I thought the Blues only signed him to 1 year. But with them referencing that tells me maybe he got a 2-year contract.
I got it right here. McEachern. Let's see. Where is he not? He's
probably listed.
Let me scroll down. He's down on a non-roster.
Yeah, he'll be at the bottom. Yeah.
There he is. Yeah, he's signed through next season.
Okay. So yeah,
$775K. You know, he on the IR, he will contribute as much to the Blues on the IR as he does on the ice. So
he did have an assist in 8 games for the Blues this year.
I thought that was with the Blues or with Springfield.
Oh, he had a lot more points for Springfield this year. He's one of their higher point scorers.
No, 1 assist in 8 games, and secondary.
I thought he was effective. I think it was his first and second game. I thought, you know what, he looks pretty good on that fourth line, but then he fell right back into obscurity like he's done every time. He'll have one good, it's like Nathan Walker, he'll come out and play great, but then he's at least still serviceable after he's not scoring goals. McEachern will come out and have 1 or 2 really good games, and then you just don't even notice him anymore.
Walker is 10 times the player McEachern is. As far as noticeable on the ice, being involved in the play. Yeah, Walker does so much more out there for me than McEachern.
I agree. I'm just saying they both have huge impact right when they get called up, but Walker at least still brings something to the team after 10 games, after 5 games. McEachern is not like that.
Can a bunch of people just also tag John Kelly nicely on Twitter and say, hey, it's not McEachern, it's McEachern?
Yeah,
where do you get McEachern from? Because that was so funny because we bitched about that the first time he was here, and then the Blues bring him back, and then I completely forgot about it. And then as soon as he starts and plays a game, and you hear Kelly call his name, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah, not a fan.
Annoying.
Yep. So in more important news, Scott Perunovich has sustained a lower body injury. He did that against the Kings on Sunday. He did not return. I don't know if you have. I haven't seen any updates on his status since the injury, and clearly he did not play Tuesday versus Columbus.
Had an MRI done.
Okay,
and that's all I heard. But they had the MRI. They're not releasing the results of the MRI for some reason, and they're going to reevaluate. I forgot when the date was. In a few weeks.
I didn't see that.
Or a month.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, they might even say we're going to reevaluate when the season kicks off again. February 10th. So who knows?
I maybe
rough to lose him. I thought he was hitting his stride even more. I'll talk about a play he made this week. That was ridiculous. It's a real shame to see.
What I don't understand is social media, their perception of Perunovich is mostly negative. Have you noticed that?
Do you want to know why?
Well, because he gets hurt a lot, but
and
no goals,
scoring goals,
no goals, right?
I'm telling you, that is it. That's the big thing. He's an offensive defenseman. He's be scoring goals. Who cares if he has 15 assists?
Yeah, and that was that's what they were saying about Krug too. When Krug was playing well to start for the first chunk of the season and getting some assists but no goals, and they're all pissed off. And the crowd that if you're not scoring, you suck. No matter what your position is. I don't understand you.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I agree. It's like I remember somebody getting in an argument with me once about I see it.
All right, let's talk
I
about
see
it.
it. Yeah.
The
Baked Beaver says he is inconsistent and doesn't produce. I will say he's had some lapses, but keep in mind, he's still a rookie. He is still like not gotten enough time to not be considered a rookie. So the inconsistency doesn't bother me. We see the flashes, and I think overall, I think he's been fine. He just makes mistakes.
He's got 12
And I think
assists in 31 games.
I think the other thing that is kind of stacked against him is that Matthew Kessel has been such a revelation.
Yeah.
And I think everybody sees him and says, well, he's playing great. Why is it Perunovic playing like him? And it's like, Kessel's better defensively, don't get me wrong, but Perunovic is leading the charge offensively. That's what you want to see from him. And I think he's been okay defensively. He's just made a couple mistakes that you notice.
Perunovic?
Like he had a Perunovic, yeah.
Yeah,
He had a bad turnover that
okay.
led to a goal this week. And I think that's what people zero in on.
Yeah, well, you know what? Everybody, okay, if you're going to nitpick, if you're going to say so-and-so sucks and then point out one play or two plays, this season, it's like, give me a fucking break. Who's going to play a perfect game? Who's going to have, Nicholas Lidstrom had bad turnovers that cost them games sometimes. It happens. Also, Perunovic, most points per game this season from our defenseman.
It's pretty good.
He's played. I mean, I'm doing math on the fly here. 12 points in 31 games. Our leading point getter for. I'm sorry. Hold on. That's wrong. I was looking at the wrong column. My bad. 12 assists in 31 games. Krug has 20 points in 50 games. So I mean, still that's he hasn't played every game. He's been a healthy scratch early in the season, especially. I thought he's played defensively. I thought he's played really well. I haven't had a problem with his. I don't know. He needs more ice time, no doubt, but Edmonton needs to have some breakout games. I mean,
yeah, I see that point, but I do think that he gets a bad rap.
How much do you want out of him? That's the thing too.
The other
what
thing
are you expecting
is,
out
and
of him?
I think it's a psychological thing. I think people are expecting to see him step in and basically be what we all wanted Torrey Krug to be. And because it's taking him time, because that's what works. And I'm not saying you, Baked Beaver, you're a smart hockey fan, but the general fan is like, why hasn't Perunovic stepped into Krug's role yet? And that way we can trade Krug this summer. I really think that's some of the thinking. And it's just, that's not how it works. Like, he's still a kid. Give him time.
I mean, he's only getting 14 and a half minutes per game, which is not a lot for a defenseman. So, I mean, he says, Baked Beaver says he's not hating. He's being overcritical. I mean, sure. Nothing wrong with being overcritical. If you want to back it up with your words, that's kind
of what we do on this show sometimes.
That's what discussion is about, right? You have an opinion and you feel strong about it. You just stand by it. That's cool.
I saw you squinting there, Kurt. I think Ken's right. He says you need your reading glasses.
Was I squinting?
I saw you too. Yeah,
I wasn't squinting. I think I was. Right. I think I was thinking. I squint when I think. When I was doing math for the defenseman.
Yeah, I rub my balls when I think. It gets me in a lot of trouble. So.
I don't know what people are expecting out of Perunovic. I mean, they want. What do they want? I mean, I think he's rounding into kind of what they expect. I don't. He's not an amazing. He's a power play quarterback, and he's a fine job at that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
And I think it's overstated that he's bad defensively. I don't think that's
he's been
true at all.
I think
he's fine.
Yeah.
I put him, defensively speaking, probably maybe a hair under Scandella, which I think Scandella's been fine this year for the most part. Start of the season.
Well, Scandella's been better than expected.
I think you have got to break up him and Tucker. I think that is the biggest issue. But, outside of that, I think Scandella's been fine. I think defensively, Perunovic is a hair under him, which, hey, if that's an NHL defenseman right there. That's a guy that's going to have a long career in the NHL if that's the case. I think, let's see, Justin Scott said, thoughts on my take. You got a couple things here, Justin. He says, think about ROR. He wasn't scoring, but look at what he does so well. He works hard. He plays a complete 200-foot game. It's not about productivity all the time. Yeah, I mean, I think we agree with that. As long as you're doing the right things on the ice and you're, making your teammates around you better and they're not having to cover for you all the time. Yeah, that's a big part of the game.
And Justin Scott also, that is a logical and calm, thoughtful analysis, a general analysis of a hockey player.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
I think with a lot of people, which we touched on, it's they're so one-dimensional in their thinking. You got to score goals to win, and if they're not scoring, what good are they? So, I mean, goals. They can be racking up assists. That don't count, right? You got to score goals.
Divide by Zero says maybe it's not just Perunovic. My take on it is just that D has problems. People want it fixed, but there's no easy fix but time, and it's hard to sit through it. Yeah, I do. Actually, that's not a bad point, Divide by Zero. I do think that this defense has improved vastly over last season, but we are still seeing some things that are bleeding through that are not great. But I think over time, we are still seeing them correct. Like, that was a problem last year. We saw backdoor constantly. This year, you see a backdoor play, and then you don't see it for 3 or 4 games. Because I think it's like they look at the tape and they say, oh, shit, that was a mistake. Let's not let that happen again. And we're not seeing the same mistakes made because I think they are correcting them on the fly.
I have very little issues with the defense this season. Yeah, there are some things you can talk about. Almost every team has that kind of thing, but this season, it's the offense. For me, the offense is crazy inconsistent. I mean, they can look really good for a few games, then just go dormant and have 12 shots through 2 periods. On most nights.
Do you include the breakout with the offense when you talk about offense, like getting out of their zone, starting the offense? Because I think that's been a problem this year.
Well, your transition game can oftentimes be started by your defense too. So,
Right.
I mean, so I guess if you're talking offense, you're talking offensive mindset, not just offensive players.
Yeah,
like
right. I'm talking like when we talk about defense and we say like, oh yeah, the forwards are part of the defense too. Same thing
Absolutely.
with the offense.
Same thing.
Defense starting the play. Sometimes they fumble the puck. Again, we saw Perunovic do that this week.
Yeah,
we've seen it plenty all season.
But I don't have as much of a problem with our defensemen transitioning out of our zone necessarily. I mean, I do. There are issues with that more often than you'd like. But my biggest thing is the elephant in the room with this offense, if you're going to talk offensive problems, is when they're in the offensive zone. I think that to me is a much bigger problem. Their lack of getting pucks to the net, their lack of creativity. They're not moving away from the puck. When they don't have the puck, they're just kind of standing around half the time. When they went on a nice run before this last run, I don't know what it was, like 12 games ago or something, they were playing some good hockey. And this was soon after Bannister took over, I guess it was. And it was noticeable. Guys were active away from the puck. They were creating lanes by moving around. They were just on the same. They were clicking. Puck carriers were moving one way. Guys who were trying to go open were moving another way, and they were just cycling, rotating in and out, moving in and out of lanes, out of that bumper area, back and forth in the corner. It's just and they kind of shied away from that for a while, and then the play regressed. How they've been up and down all season. And I don't think I would say they've returned to that even during the winning streak, because they had issues during the winning streak. But my problem with the offense has been the offensive zone. They're they just pass up shots, and they
Yeah.
sometimes don't look like they're on the same page, and they're passing into traffic when they should be taking a shot. It's just it frustrates me as a forward, playing in my high level men's league career, um, and mid 1990s college play, that it's just frustrating to watch because as a forward, you want to see creativity, you want to see shots, you want to see crash in the net, you want to see aggressive play, and you just from your best guys, and some of your best players just aren't doing that.
Bake Beaver, bingo, buddy. This is with what Kurt's saying. This is also probably number 2 problem for me with this offense. He says lack of control in the zone, really, but when they were on and cycling proper, they looked like a top 5 team.
Yeah.
That to me is the problem. Is we're not seeing that zone pressure where it's just like, oh my God, the Blues. And granted, this is not the Blues of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But still, like, we're not seeing the zone pressure we should be seeing. I think that was something that Armstrong was probably wanting when he made the coaching change was let's see them hem teams into the zone and where they can't make a change, but the Blues are cycling through changes. We just don't see that. Even when they're winning games, we don't see that pressure where it's just the other team is stuck and they're tired and they can't get out and they've been trapped. We're not seeing that right now. And I think that if we can find a way to get that back, because they've got good passers on this team. They got grinders to get in the corner, but for some reason, it's just not gelling. I think if they can figure that out, that is a huge stepping stone to getting this team where they need to be that. And like Kurt said, not passing up very good shots.
Yeah. And your best shooters passing up good opportunities to put the puck on net.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the problem. I mean, if Walker, passes up a scoring chance to try and pass in traffic, I'm not as upset as if Kyrou does it. Right. I mean, and to me, I don't know what's going on with him mentally. Ken Morris said Thomas is a stud, Kyrou is a trick pony. I'm hoping this is just a growing pains thing for Kyrou, some kind of transition he's going through, because he looks a 10th of his dynamic ability this season is a 10th of what it was last season.
Oh yeah.
And his overall game
it's like he doesn't know how to puck handle half the time.
He doesn't even do what he used to do last year in the offensive zone. It has nothing to do with his defensive coverage, which has gotten much better this season. But in the offensive zone, he's just all the same mindset, and he just doesn't do it. And when he does try to dangle, go around a guy, he looks pathetic. He just can't do it. He doesn't use his speed. How many times we talk about that? When they talk about fastest speed bursts of this season in the NHL or on the Blues, who is it? It's never Kyrou. Kyrou's nowhere to be seen ever. He's one of the fastest guys in the NHL. He doesn't use
that in the middle of the broadcast, like third period, be like, here's the fastest players tonight. Who's had the quickest speed burst? I've never seen Kyrou on that. And I'm like, how is that possible? He's the literally probably top 3 fastest players in the NHL. And for some reason, he's never on those lists.
No. Leddy is always up there.
Yep.
You see who's hustling. I mean, Leddy's fast. He's not Kyrou fast. I think that speed burst, top speed thing, is one of the more handier and interesting stats from these stats they get from that chip that's in the jersey from these players. That shows me, I mean, kind of in a general way, who's busting their ass out there, who's hustling.
Yep, agree.
If your fastest guy is nowhere to be seen amongst the top skaters in the fastest skaters in a game or in this season even, it's like, well, what does he do? Why even pay him for his speed, which is one of his best weapons, if he ain't using it? I don't get it.
Kurt, I am hard up against a break. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll finish this offense discussion, I'm sure, as we'll talk about the Blues and their the end of their 5-game winning streak, as well as their game against Columbus, plus other news around the NHL and some great articles from a couple of friends of the show. You are listening to Kurt and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio.
We'll return after these messages.
We've all tried a diet or workout fad at one time or another, but it always ends the same, right? We either lose the weight and then get back to our routine, but then put the weight right back on, or it just simply never takes hold. It's time to move into a habit-based program that focuses on organization and simplicity. Rockin' That Idea Life's Lean 30 lays it all out for you with the correct food to eat, how to meal prep, and even sprinkles in plenty of healthy recipes. With Lean 30, you'll get the full ID Life arsenal, including energy for that needed kick, a tasty Nourish shake for your needed fiber intake, Slim Plus to help control your cravings and provide a metabolic boost, Lean capsules help bust those sugar cravings, and IED Nutrition gives you the added punch you need that takes the guesswork out of what supplements to take. Join the many who are seeing success and make this your last first day on a new program. Visit rockandthatidealife.com to get started, and remember to email Dustin at rockandthatidealife@gmail.com for an extra 10% off exclusively for Let's Go Blues radio listeners. Start your transformation to the confident, vibrant person you've always wanted to be with rockandthatidealife.com.
St. Louis hockey fans know how it takes a reliable captain and a team of hard workers to achieve major goals. As a police officer and a hockey player, realtor Mike Burgoyne would wear the C in any situation. As a leader in the home buying or selling process, Mike has surrounded himself with a team of trustworthy inspectors, lenders, and escrow officers that work together more cohesively than Hall & Oates. And as a member of many teams in his life, Mike knows the service our first responders, veterans, nurses, teachers, and yes, even you Let's Go Blues radio listeners provide the community, so he offers special rates to those individuals. Find the value in Mike's leadership and teamwork today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or calling 314-753-4060. He'll work closely with you and only show you the homes that match your goals. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com or call him at 314-753-4060 and succeed with your new teammate today.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
What are you laughing about?
I'm just Adam Gold.
Oh yeah.
I feel really bad about it because he sent me some of his work to read over, and we talked about it, and I said, yeah, I'd read over it and we can talk about some of the stuff on the show. And I didn't get around to it, and then I forgot, and then it would just seem like it was too long, and then I couldn't find them, and I was like, oh, I want to ask him for them again.
Well, there you go. Now you are.
That was a long time ago. And I feel bad. And I think we were friends on Facebook, but Adam, if you want to hit me up while I'm thinking about it, my Facebook account was hacked and is gone forever. So
that's right. He's been sending us like kind of like interesting facts and shit, and like asking our thoughts. And I'm like, man, Kurt never responds to Adam, but I forgot it's because your Facebook got hacked.
Yeah, well, I
got a new page. Find him, Adam.
I don't think I went through and I went through suggested people, and I clicked a bunch of names, and I'm like, I can't remember everybody, and so I'm thinking I don't know if I did Adam or not. So if I haven't,
I'll find him. There's a new Kurt Price. If you go to my friends, Adam, you'll find him. Yeah,
it's and Facebook. Fuck you, Facebook, because the support. I'm serious. You can't. If a standard regular user such as myself, if your account gets hacked and linked to a spammy Instagram page, which mine did, and then therefore gets suspended by Facebook, you have no recourse. You can't contact them. You can't get it back. You can't. There's no email to send it to. There's no phone number to call. There's no social media account. There's no online chat. There's nothing. You cannot contact them unless you're a business about this kind of a stuff, or you pay for advertising. If you're just a simple user, you can't get it back.
It's terrible. You're not the first person to say that.
Oh no, there are forums of people that the exact same thing has happened to, and they tell you to contact the Attorney General, and so I did.
Oh wow!
And they sent a response saying, we can't help with that, even though we know that people are saying to contact us. We cannot help with that, unless there was actual fraud or something that they stole money from you or something. So
Mm.
yeah. So anyway, long story short, yes,
Too late.
I sucked. I apologize, Adam. I've sucked about that. I will do my best to get to it. My life is pretty busy. Believe it or not.
Ken Morris, another week without Bill Day's Blues Save of the Week. I think you might have missed us at the Open, Ken. We did mention that is something we are going to start doing as soon as Bill comes back. So we are still working that out. But yeah, that is was that you that suggested that, Ken? Because that is an excellent idea and we loved it. And we pitched it to Bill and he responded right away and was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. So he's all for it too.
Let's not go tooting the horn too much just yet. We haven't done it yet. It might flop. Who knows?
That's true. We'll see. Well, I'll tell you what didn't flop was the Blues in Seattle. So they took 3 games before this. They beat the Washington Capitals in the second of their back-to-back, and then beat Calgary and Vancouver. And they were finishing up their, I guess you could call it now, the Northwest road trip. They continued their winning ways.
It's a road stand.
The road stand, right? Road stand. Of course. They take down Seattle 4-3 in overtime to end the road trip.
What was that score you say? 4-3?
It was 4-3 in overtime. Very
nice
odd, right? We don't ever hear that score.
No, I'd like to see more of those scores, 4-3.
Yeah, maybe we might. We'll see. We will see. Second game in a row at this point that they had won 4-3 in overtime. Blues, they trailed 3-1 at one point. They ended up coming back in this game, winning it. Jordan Binnington, I thought, played very well in this game. And again, that's kind of been a trend, I think, under Bannister for the most part. The goaltending's been fantastic. He makes 33 saves on 36 shots. I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe this is the first time the Blues had 100% power play percentage all season. Could be wrong on that. But they were 2 for 2, which, wow. Seattle goes 1 for 2 on the power play. And just overall, I thought a fun game. Didn't hate this game. I wasn't, mad they were down 3-1. I thought they were still playing well. And I still found myself saying, this team's come back before we could see it again.
Well, and this was a big game for the standings, too, because they were battling they were pretty close. I think Seattle at the time was a point.
1 point, I believe.
Yeah, and the Blues with this win, overtime win, gets.
I think they tied them at this point.
The Blues were ahead of Seattle. Oh, who were behind? Were they behind them by a point?
I thought they were behind by a point. I could be wrong.
They were neck and neck, and getting this point, the extra point in overtime in this game. Getting the 2 points was a big deal. You can't. I mean, being down 3-1. Back on my mind's like, man, this is a standings game. I mean, it's down 3-1. Get on your horse, right? But and I was with you though. I'm like they were playing pretty well. So,
I mean, the shots were ridiculous. It was 36-18 for Seattle, but again, shots aren't always the story. I thought. And like you said, there was a couple times where I noticed the Blues were passing up chances, and I'm like, motherfucker, shoot
it's all season.
Puck.
It's all fucking season. It's every game.
But I will say one goal that I loved, and we already talked about one of these players. I thought Robert Thomas's power play goal was fantastic. That was the deflection he had. He had an assist in this game as well. But basically, there's a shot from the point from Perunovic. His deflection in front was just sickening. I mean, you think of a deflection in front, right, Kurt? You're a forward. You think of the stick kind of being parallel to your body or maybe angled down a little bit. He's literally holding it like to his side, and he freaking deflects the puck. Like that kind of stuff I see. I'm like, I could try that, and out of 100 times, I might do it once. Robert Thomas, he just makes it look so easy. And again, of course, that's a big power play goal that cut the lead 3-2 for Seattle.
So I just pulled up. I was watching the highlight again, and I agree with you. It sticks up like this, but it just shows how talented a lot of these guys are as far as like tipping that puck out of midair. But the NHL, .com website has changed the way they do goal replays. Have you seen this? Have you noticed this, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
They
don't show the replay itself.
It's much shorter.
Yeah,
they only show a few seconds before the goal. And that's it. And they don't show a replay, a slow-mo of it like they used to.
Nope.
They used to show like maybe 10 seconds before the goal. They don't do any of that.
No,
And
you
I'm
got to
like,
go on YouTube now.
What the fuck? Why? I mean, this was
Yeah.
so nice to have up here to review. We could see, who was to blame for this, or if a goal was scored against, who missed an assignment, what went wrong, or what to praise. But you can't see how a play develops at all with this stupid setup.
No.
All you see is the shot and the goal, basically, and
And
that's
then it's
it.
over.
No replays even. It's just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Come
Yeah,
on.
well, at first I appreciated it because I was like, "Ooh, they got rid of ads before goals." Because it was like every time you would click one of the goals to
I
watch,
guess.
you'd have to watch a minute of ads, and it's like,
It depends.
motherfucker, this
It
is gonna be
depends.
like a 30-second clip. But then it's like,
Well,
well, now you're not giving me replays of the goal, so all I'm seeing is it live.
so there's some kind of a formula that you or a process you go through to not get the ads, and I don't know exactly what it was, but I never had ads on NHL.com. I'm not.
always did.
I think it was. I think if I closed a video, I don't know what I did. I think if I closed a video or closed a page and went back to it, it would give me a video if I stayed on it. I don't know. If I forgot
So
what
I would
the
do what
process
you're
was.
doing. I would do what you're doing, right? Like I would go to the game.
Yes.
And then it shows
Oh.
like all the goal scores. It's got the little video icon. That's
Yeah.
what I always did, and I
But
always used
I
to
would
get ads.
I would right click. That's why I would right click on the play video, and I would open a new window. And I would play that. I would play that, and it would play, and then I close it, and I might get an ad for that one. But then when I close that window, I still have that screen open. I right click on the next video and play a new window. No ads, and it never gave me an ad for the following video. But now that's all changed.
I didn't even think about that. Well, yeah, now it's pointless because you don't get ads anyway, which is nice. But yeah,
I
it'd be
do
nice
like
to see
that.
replays.
I'd rather have the ads with.
I agree. As opposed to what we have now. Yeah, like I'm not
This
even going to NHL.com to watch this shit anymore. Now I'm going to YouTube. I'm watching like Sportsnet, their recaps, and it's like, yeah, you're missing clicks to your website, NHL, because you fucked this up.
Yeah, I don't want to watch an 8-minute recap. I want to watch 10 seconds before a goal. I want to see a slow-mo replay.
Well,
or two.
unfortunately, you got to pick your poison.
God damn it.
Yep. So we'll stop being techie nerds here, and we'll talk about this game itself. So last thing I want to mention real quick, what do you think of Buchnevic's celly in the game-winning goal?
You know what I liked more? I liked Thomas's reaction to it when they interviewed him after the game. Did you see this? They were asking because he didn't really get a good look at it. And one of the reporters like showed him, and he's looking at it, and he just starts laughing. He goes, "What the hell is that?" Yeah, I love the explanation too, though, because Buchnevich said it was a Russian player over in Russia, scored a goal, who hadn't scored a goal in like 2 years, might have been a defenseman, and he scored a goal, and Buchnevich goes, and he does that paddle canoe thing, whatever it was, and he goes, "It was so funny." And
See,
so he had to do
when
it.
I first saw it, and I even put that in my notes,
Sweep.
when I first saw it, I thought he's sweeping the road trip. Like
Yeah.
they swept the road trip. But then when he said that, I was like, oh, that is more like a canoe motion.
Yeah. He said it wasn't
cool.
for the sweep. It was just because a guy in Russia did it.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, stop me if you've heard this one, Kurt. The Blues win in OT 4-3. This time against the LA Kings on Sunday afternoon. This was their 5th straight win. This is their longest winning streak under interim head coach Drew Bannister. I got to ask you the question, and I know you're going to answer the same way I am. Don't get me wrong. I love Joel Hofer. I think he's playing a great season. Why the hell did he get the start here?
I mean, he played well.
A broken record on this.
I'm with you. I mean, this is another big game, right? I mean,
this is a team you're battling for a wild card spot.
Yeah. And you're at home.
You can't. I saw somebody say, well, it's because Binnington got overworked Friday night. And I'm like, this is Sunday afternoon. Like, it isn't a back. I mean, yes, it's what, 36 hours, but it's not fucking 24 hours. Like, I don't understand that. To me, you have your starter in for the big games, and you're talking about if you're going to play Hofer, play him Tuesday against Columbus.
Yes.
But even then, I'm like, play Binnington until the All-Star break. Let him continue his hot streak.
Yeah, I would too.
Let him continue this out, because then he's got, 11 days off? Like, it made no sense. I get,
I mean,
I
it
do get
worked.
a certain extent wanting to give Hofer some work. But if you're going to do that, put him against Columbus.
There are plenty of games on the schedule that are suitable for a quote backup goalie game. This was not. I mean, yeah, LA was struggling bad actually. They haven't played well in a while. But still, with that said, this is a big game. I just don't.
I'll
I
never
don't
understand how they approach goaltending on this.
I mean, but you know, they won. So I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the funny argument I get whenever I say this. People are always like, "Well, they won, so they clearly made the right decision." And it's like, okay, so if they lost, it was the wrong decision. Like, to me, yeah, they won. I'm happy. I'm glad. And like I said, I really do like Joel Hofer a lot. But to me, you play your starter in the big games. I think this is the wrong decision.
Yeah, that's a good question. Baked Beaver says, "Are we running into running a tandem of 1A, 1B?"
I guess.
I mean, no, but sometimes it seems that way, right? In situations like this, like, why wouldn't you be starting Binnington at home against LA, real tight standings race with them? Why would you not run out your number one goalie? Again, they won and Hofer played well, so I mean, it worked. It was great, but 9 times out of 10, I start Binnington in this game. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there are. Do I have the schedule up here for like what's coming up?
I can't answer that.
I don't. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So yeah, I mean, the break is obvious, right? And you got Buffalo, Montreal coming out of the break. I mean, and then you got Toronto, Edmonton.
There's one of those, Buffalo, Montreal. You put Hofer in there. Why not?
But man, I haven't looked ahead at February. Toronto, Edmonton, Nashville, Toronto.
Let me ask you, would you have even minded if they would have played Hofer Tuesday against Columbus, and then when they come back, play Hofer again and give Binnington a little bit longer of a break? I wouldn't have minded that. But when you're playing
I don't know,
Hofer against your big division teams, that's crazy. Not division, I'm sorry, conference, but you're battling for a wild card spot. You play your starter.
Yeah, but then there's an argument too. How much time off is too much time off? You know, for a guy that's playing well.
Yeah,
I don't know. I also too, you could say, well, okay, well, let's give Binnington the first start after break against Buffalo, and then it's a game that it's an away game, but still.
I think I would have been more okay with that than playing Hofer against the Kings in this game. Like, I would have been more okay with them saying, we're going to give Binnington a 2-week break or however long it would be.
It made a lot more
Hofer
sense.
will play the last game before All-Star and then first game.
I mean,
I would have been more okay with that than them saying Hofer starting against the team we have to beat.
I mean, the goaltending decisions seem strange, but they worked out. Columbus, Binnington was really good.
Oh, he was great.
1 goal against, and Hofer beat the Kings.
And that one goal against, you cannot put on Binnington.
No.
Whew.
No.
I put that on many players, but it's not Binnington.
even allowing 1 goal, I don't even care. It's like, you should win that game. You allow 1 goal, win the game.
Yeah, it could have been a squeaker, and it's like, who cares? It's 1 goal. You can't expect your goalie to get a shutout.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, well, some people may.
Well,
yeah,
smart hockey fans. So I thought in this game, the LA Kings. So heading into this game, they were the 9th least penalized team in the NHL. And I think at that time, one of the stats I heard, I think it was from Rivers, that like in the last 10 games, they'd taken 11 penalties. Like, it was ridiculous. But in this game, they took 6 penalties.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, and they were penalties. Like, they weren't ticky-tacky calls. Like, there was blatant trips, high stick. There was one, and then I thought in the third period, I thought they could have gotten 3 or 4 more. Like, at that point, the referees had kind of put their whistle away, and it was just like, there is a blatant trip right there. Like, I think there was one on Sundqvist late in the game, and I'm like, that should be a call, but they're not going to call it because they've already given 6 penalties to the Kings and 1 to the Blues. But
How often?
they were awful in this game.
How often do you see that? 6 power plays for one team and 1 for the other.
Yep.
That's. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm never going to say that there's some kind of conspiracy with the officiating in a game. That's just like league wide, league run conspiracy. That's ridiculous to me. But the officiating, just seeing this on paper without even having watched the game, are you telling me one team committed 6 penalties and one team legit only committed 1 penalty the entire game?
Yeah.
The way the nature of the game, I don't think in the history of this league has one team like
played a perfect
game or just 1 penalty in a game. There's all kinds of shit that the officials
I remember
miss.
there was a game, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, where the Blues and Red Wings played, and there were no penalties all night. It was 0-0 for power plays. And I think John Kelly even called, or probably Darren Pang, called out that was the first time in history between those two teams that there wasn't a penalty. And I'm like, I don't care how clean of a team you are. There's no way you did not commit 1 foul in an entire game.
So the Baked Beaver says, does it really matter if we draw the penalty if we don't do anything with it? Have you watched the team
Blues
the past
did
month?
have one. They did have 1 goal in this game on the power play.
The past month, though, this power play has been pretty good.
Better.
So,
yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, like top 10.
Yeah.
So
you're probably right.
I got the stats later. We'll talk about it. But yeah.
All right. We'll do that.
It's just short of a month. Almost like 3, 4, or 5 days shy of a month. The Blues are top 10 or top 10.
Nice.
I believe top 10, 11, something like that.
So in this game, I thought the Blues' 3rd goal was one of their prettiest of the season. Thomas threw it to the high slot. That was the one where Perunovic took it, and then the slickest, softest touch pass I think I have ever seen over to Kyrou, who just took a great shot and beat David Riddick. When I saw him do that again, kind of like the Thomas goal in the previous game, I'm like, I couldn't do that. Like the way that it was just so soft, it was just kind of like it's like a tip. He's gonna touch the tip just to see how it feels, and and he's just
the tip,
perfect,
just
right on Kyrou's stick, and it's just I couldn't try that. I couldn't do that in 100 tries. Like, it's crazy to see some of the stuff Perunovic can do offensively. Like, he has got slick hands.
I mean, yeah, but people have to complain about him, so he's not doing enough.
Right. I also wanted to comment, and I think that if Bill was on the show, I think this would have been the one he would have broken down in terms of a goalie save. I thought Hofer's 3rd period save was ridiculous. Blues had a bad turnover. Trevor Moore found Iafallo. He blasted the one-timer. That was when he made the save. Rebound popped in front. I thought Parayko actually played it pretty well on Philip Deneau, but Deneau just fought for it and then was able to throw it back on net. And then Hofer got right across, got his body in front of it. Not really the prettiest save, but it doesn't fucking matter when you get your body in front of it and make the big save that really the Blues needed at that point. Because that was a 3-3 game. So very nice save by Hofer. Again, I know I bitch about him getting starts here when I don't feel like he should be, but man, he is standing up to the task when he needs to, and that might have been his best NHL save, I think.
Yep. It was. I mean, fantastic save, and like you said, we do bitch about goaltending decisions, but under Bannister, I mean, it's been good. So whoever's played, for the most part, has been good. So I mean, it's. I guess you maybe you could argue that if the other guy starts, then the whole game's different. Maybe we win. Maybe, but you can't complain after the fact about the performance. You can question the decision beforehand, which we're doing, but the performance, is good.
Then Shen scores in overtime, he ties the second. Let me repeat this. Shen's overtime goal tied him for second all-time in Blues history. It was his 7th all-time for the Blues. That tied the late, great Blues Hall of Famer Pavel Demitra. His second OT winner in the past 3 games, which was impressive. And keep in mind, he also assisted on Buchnevich's overtime goal the previous game against Seattle. For those wondering, Vladimir Tarasenko leads the Blues, not Brett Hull, with 10 overtime goals. So one stat that Brett Hull does not have.
Yeah. To be fair, different era of overtimes too.
Right.
5-on-5 versus 3-on-3. A little different. A lot different.
Well, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, he has only been. Wait, or was he part of 4-on-4?
Who's that?
Tarasenko?
4-on-4.
Or was it only because they did 4-on-4 for a little while too?
No,
I think when he started, they were already on 3-on-3.
They didn't do 4-on-4.
Yeah, they did.
They did 4-on-4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early 2000s. Yeah, for a brief period, they went to 4-on-4 before they went to 3-on-3.
I don't remember that.
Look it up, son. I'm telling you.
Okay.
But I thought the play itself was interesting. I thought Buchnevich actually didn't get enough credit for this goal. It reminded me of Colton Parayko, his goal against Washington in the second game last week when he broke up that play. The pass came across. It was in the air. He brought his stick up, stopped it, and then skated it up, shot one on Lindgren, and scored. Similar here to Buchnevich, I thought he didn't get enough credit on this goal. All the talk was Schenn, being the second all-time for overtime goals, and obviously his ability to skate in and take a great shot on Riddick. But I thought his ability to kind of break up, so he broke up a pass. It was basically a 2-on-1. Broke up a pass in midair with his stick, circled the wagons behind the net, and then Schenn, you could see him on the replay, just busted up, thought, man, I got to go up the boards here. Buchnevich found him, perfect pass off the boards right to him, and then Schenn buries it. Blues win this one 4-3. Beautiful overtime goal, well executed by both players, and again, credit to Joel Hofer for keeping them in this game. I thought there was a couple chances they had late in the third period where this game could have gone the other way.
I wasn't listening to a thing you said. I'm trying to research this. So.
That's okay. The crowd understood. That's all that mattered.
I don't see anything on it. Why don't I remember 4-on-4 overtime?
Help me out here, fans. Help me.
I know I can go to 4-on-4 if there's a penalty, right? And in overtime, it goes it's 4-on-3 instead of 3-on-2, and then when the guy gets out of the box, it's 4-on-4 until there's a stoppage.
I'm telling you, it was Pronger years because they would throw him out there. Maybe it wasn't with the Blues, but I remember they would throw him out there with 3 forwards because they were like, Pronger's got it back there.
So like 07-ish,
somewhere in there
after the Blues.
Yeah. That's my guess. It's somewhere in there. I know they did it for a short period.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't you break it? Why don't you break in and you introduce the next game? I know you got some notes on
Columbus?
that, and I will try to find something on it. Yep.
Okay, yeah. And does anybody in the chat remember 4-on-4 overtime? If they had it for a while, I feel stupid because I've apparently blocked that portion out in my mind. The Blues fell to the Columbus Blue Jackets 1-0. Even though the Jackets had no Line, no Fantilli. Even with those players out, they're one of the worst teams in the NHL. With them in the lineup, they're one of the worst teams in the NHL. They're in your building with your number one goalie in net, and the Blues laid an inexcusable big fat egg. One of the more lackluster, uninspired offensive performances I've seen from this team in quite some time. And that says something because this team has struggled. We talked about consistency offensively this season. Especially recently.
All right, let me read this to you real quick.
Okay, good.
This is from when the NHL adopted the shootout. This is a press release from July 22nd, 2005. Regular season games that are tied at the conclusion of overtime will be decided by a shootout round beginning in 2005-2006. The National Hockey League announced today. The new shootout rule guarantees a winner each game. Ties have been eliminated. If a game remains tied after the 5-minute 4-on-4 overtime period, the teams will engage in a shootout.
So that was 05.
05, yeah. And I can't remember when they went to 3-on-3, but I don't think the 4-on-4 lasted very long.
Okay.
I can share this link with you if you don't.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I just wanted to read up on it. Oh, thank you for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a brief period in the NHL, but yeah,
Oh,
obviously not very memorable.
I see you got this from NHLFakeRules.com.
Oh yes, yes, I love that website. It's my favorite.
I guess I just blocked that out for some reason. I feel shame.
Yep, but no, I'm with you on this game. We're going to talk about some articles here in a second, written about the Blues, but from a couple friends of the show. But this was disgusting. I'm sorry, you don't have Fantilli, you don't have Line A, and you're riding a 5-game winning streak, and you're playing Columbus. And you have, I think you said it, in your building. You've got your goalie in net that has been on fire, and you fucking lay an egg.
You should want to destroy this team to put a
Yes.
stamp on the season so far up until the break by winning 6 straight and feeling good and getting maybe some folks to talk, during the All-Star game about the Blues playing well going into the break. Now they're not. It's just but there's no there. It's just a really flat feeling going into the break for the Blues, and it pisses me off.
The big thing that speaks volumes here for me is the stat of the Blues only had 9 shots until 1:18 of the third period. That's unacceptable. Like, if I'm Drew Bannister, I am fucking I was gonna say pulling my hair out, but I guess he can't do that. Yeah, I would be furious. I'm like, guys, seriously? 9 shots against the fucking Columbus Blue Jackets? What the hell is going on here?
2 periods plus a minute 18, 9 shots.
Awful.
Yeah, and Columbus. I mean, the lucky Columbus didn't have a goal before they got their first one because they hit the post crossbar. Bang bang, which they ruled was a goal. The official was so sure, right? It's goal.
Yeah, right.
Never went in.
Yep.
So close.
And Justin Scott is right here. Both teams were abysmal.
They were.
Fucking abysmal.
Yeah. And
I thought Columbus played well enough to win, but the Blues didn't. They were both bad, but I think Columbus was slightly better, where it's like, they played better than the other
Columbus
team.
played good enough to win against a team who was playing terrible.
Yes, exactly.
Money Puck actually had the Blues winning this game by 52%. Out of 1,000 simulations, the Blues win 52.5% of the time. So they just edged out Columbus. So yay!
Yay! We won mathematically.
Won the advanced stats 1,000 simulation matchup.
Ken Morris in the chat says Jeff Merrick said against CBJ only Binnington and Tyler Tucker put in any effort.
Why? Because Tyler Tucker
game.
fought? Is that why?
Yeah, I didn't really notice Tucker in this game. Really, I didn't notice.
He fought and he lost. He lost the fight. So I mean,
he got his ass kicked. But hey, you know what? I do applaud him for fighting.
Sure. I love a good fight.
I forget Olivier. Olivier's a tough fucking.
Sure,
customer,
I love a good fight. But
yeah, good for him. But
yeah, but I mean, he's got few roles on this team, and toughness is one of them, and he got it handed to him.
Yeah, he did. But either way, I don't know. Tyler Tucker. I thought Sundqvist played okay. I thought he was probably the best skater for the Blues.
Yeah.
But overall, Neighbors I thought had a decent game. But yeah,
Neighbors missed that
Thomas
open.
Was awful.
Neighbors should have scored.
Right.
He should have scored. I mean, I mean, the goalie's down, and I think Rivers gave the goalie credit for sticking his pad up in the air. He did nothing of the sort. This pad was on the ice.
No.
And Neighbors just didn't flip it over the pad and didn't get over it. It's just like, oh my God, he had so much net to shoot at.
He got to score.
He has to.
And I thought on the goal, and it's tough to just pick apart one play in this game because there was multiple times the Blues just flubbed it. Thomas, I'm sorry. Listen, Robert Thomas has been fantastic. I saw tweets from not Blues fans, but other people saying, look at how the Blues are performing analytically, and then look at how Robert Thomas is performing. And it's like, without him, they're not even in the playoff hunt. So this guy should be considered for MVP at this point.
Yeah.
And so I will say that. I agree with that. I think Thomas has been great. But man, on that goal, Thomas has the puck in the offensive zone along the boards. and then he just throws it
Yeah.
to the middle to absolutely no
This was
one.
the worst game Thomas has played in a while.
100%.
It was a bad game.
Absolutely. He gives it right to the Blue Jackets, which springs them on a 4-on-2. And really, I thought the only players, which is going to sound weird to say, that even tried to do anything on this goal outside of Binnington was Kyrou and Matt Kessel. They were the only guys that were back checking. Krug was on controller unplugged. Thomas and Thomas was following the play, but still way far behind. And Buchnevich wasn't even in the fucking picture. Like, I don't know where he was. I guess he went to go get popcorn or something. And, Voronkov takes it from Werenski, and just a beautiful goal for them. But it's like, where's the back checking? You see a player turn the puck over, you want to see him bust his ass to get back. Holy shit, that's my mistake. I got to tie up a stick. He didn't do anything on that play.
To be fair,
I mean, they were all bad.
To be fair with Thomas, I guess, in this game, if a lot of the forwards are mailing it in this game, and you're a passer and you're setting them up, if they're not busting their ass to get open, if they're not, if they're not doing their part, you're gonna look silly because you can't complete passes, or you can't find people or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that was all of it, but because Thomas coughed it up quite a bit, made some bad passes when he should, and fell down a few times trying to do something.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. It was just a bad night overall. Some folks were saying that they mailed it in before, they were just thinking about being on the beach for their trip. I'm not. I mean, that's a thought, right? I'm not sure how you quantify that with how you know what I mean.
Well,
But
I'll tell you what. While we're talking about this game, because our next little discussion is going to be a couple articles that went out. Let's go ahead and mention Lou Korak, friend of the show. He did have I thought a very insightful, very honest piece about this
he's an honest
game
guy.
that came out.
He tells it like it is.
I love him for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Lou Korak of NHL.com, but also the hockeynews.com, and In the Slot, is that the name of his? I believe that's the name of his blog. But for the Hockey News, he wrote a column after this game. Blues got what they deserved in losing to another lowly team. And again, this was after this Blue Jackets game. And I want to read a couple snippets from this article. Go check it out. It's well done. It's got great quotes from Bannister that back up everything Lou Korak has to say. A couple snippets he has here. Snippets. He has here. I don't know what that was. He says, and when I say this isn't the first time there were no shows against some of the lesser opponents, they are now 3-4-0 against the 4 last place teams from each division, including the Blue Jackets, Senators, Blackhawks, and Sharks, who all have a combined record of 62, 115, and 18. Good for a robust 318 winning percentage. So the Blues have a losing record against these teams.
That game against the Sharks was rough. That early in the season when the Sharks hadn't won yet. That was rough.
And Lou adds, it was evident from puck drop that nobody was interested in skating. Nobody was interested in playing for one another, which has been echoed in the locker room this month. It was evident effort was lacking severely. Columbus came to play a hockey game. The Blues are more concerned with their flight times to whatever beaches they'll be on Wednesday. I love that. Well fucking said, Korak. That was my thought too. I'm like, they are fucking phoning this game in. They are ready for they're already on break. It's one of those things like, we all have those coworkers, right? They're about to go on vacation, and their last 2 days before they leave, they don't do shit. They're just like, I'm just here to get my paycheck, and then I'm going to be gone for a week. That's what the Blues did in this game. I'm sorry. They looked awful in this game. Awful. And we're going to talk about an article written by friend of the show, Ben Hockman, here in a little bit too. But I thought this game particularly, there was no fight in this team outside of Tucker. There was no fight. They did not put up any kind of dukes with Columbus. And Columbus is a bad hockey team. You have got to bring a better effort in your last game before a huge break. And when you're on a 5-game winning streak, just ugly.
I couldn't agree more. I think and I don't want to change the subject back, but I did want to mention something before we get too far away from it. Has anybody ever seen the Ivan Provorov's name on Money Puck for Columbus?
No.
Remember Ivan Provorov last year with the refused to wear the pride jersey because it was against his religion, Russian Orthodox, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so his name on Money Puck, and let me share the screen here. It is, there it is. Can you see it?
That is fantastic.
Money Puck has Ivan Provorov's name in rainbow letters. No one else's is in rainbow letters, but his is. And if you click on it, it takes you to the Trevor Project, which is a donation site that advocates against anti-LGBTQ plus laws and policymakers and helps LGBTQ plus youth get the support they need.
That is so awesome.
I was like, that is hilarious. That is fantastic.
I hope they do that with Eric Stahl too after the bullshit he said last year.
So that was so good on Money Puck for
that's great. Good work.
Trolling Provorov.
That's so funny.
Anyway,
very.
I wanted to mention that before we got away from that too far.
No, that's fine. But yeah, just a rough game, and it is funny because like I think if this happens 4 games ago, we're all like, that fucking sucks. They laid an egg against Columbus. They got to win this game. But when it's right before a break and you're coming off a 5-game winning streak, you expect a top-notch effort, and that was just not there.
This game was just, the game was boring.
Boring as
Columbus
hell.
didn't do a whole lot. The Blues did next to nothing. I thought it was such a frustrating game to watch. Did
you see Korak's tweet in the second intermission?
No, what did it say?
He said the score is still it was along these lines. The score is still 0-0 between Blues and Columbus. My apologies if you bought a ticket to this game.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking that. I'm thinking, I could have been a game that I took my daughter to. Because she's always asking to go to games.
I considered going because I looked up tickets. They weren't that expensive, and I'm like, this could be a game I take my son to because he doesn't care where they play. He just wants to go to a game, and I'm like, fuck, glad I didn't take him because I would have been pissed off the whole time.
It's Columbus. It's during the week. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, right.
But and that's true. Out of all the teams in NHL, Columbus is up there. They got to be in teams that other fan bases just don't care about. Right?
Yeah.
Who cares about the Columbus Blue Jackets? Does anyone outside of Columbus? Like, they're never any good. It's just...
I'm trying to think who their biggest rival is. I guess for them, maybe like Pittsburgh or Detroit. But I don't think Pittsburgh or Detroit would consider them rivals.
Yeah, I don't. What's his name when they had...
I think Pittsburgh's their closest team, right?
When they had what's his face, they drafted their best player, Rick Nash. When they drafted Rick Nash, I think they had some years where they were in the playoffs, were they not? And there were some good games with the Blues. The Oshie and Nash rivalry there for a short time, that was pretty good. But aside from that blip in their history, who gives a shit about the Blackhawks?
They had a couple good years there when they went to the East. They had that year that they beat Tampa in the first round. So that was some good things.
That was great. That was good.
But overall, then they got swept in the next round.
That doesn't matter. Taking out Tampa Bay that year was amazing.
That was that. I think that year they had the record for most points in the regular season, and they got swept by the 8th.
That was great.
So surprising to hear in this game, the Well, I guess not surprising to hear in this game. There was no power play goals. 0 for 2 for Columbus, 0 for 3 for St. Louis. And I thought that power play, this was an early season power play for the Blues.
That's bad.
They had nothing going. I think the last one, I don't even think they had it in the zone half the time. Like it was in the neutral zone, then it would get cleared out. They get it in, cleared out, and it's just they got nothing going this game. What the hell happened?
I mean, every team lays an egg once in a while, and so you'd like to just say, you know what, it's a stinker, it sucks, it is what it is. However, and I think we talk about too that the Blues were not playing great hockey during the win streak. I mean, they were fortunate to win a couple of those games. They were outplayed. Low shot totals, not that shots are the end all be all to, how dominant a team was in a game, but they were outplayed in 2 or 3 of these games. So, but I mean, when you're winning, it's funny how a simple win or a win streak, no matter how you get them, tends to make the negatives of the game like invisible.
Yep.
So,
Justin Scott brings up a great point here. He says, Jeff, you're 3-0 at the Blues game. If you went, we would have won the game. Hashtag blame Ponder. And Baked Beaver's jumping in on that too. Hashtag blame Ponder. So let's get that trending, guys. Now I don't even think my luck would have helped the team in this game. They clearly, their minds were somewhere else. As Korak said, thinking about what beach they'll be on Wednesday. I agree 100%. They did not look like a professional hockey team in this game.
What Justin Scott said, though, is that the Blues are currently in the playoffs. So they do hold that second wildcard spot as we speak. They are tied in points with the Predators, but the Blues have 2 games in hand on them, which is substantial. So,
yeah. Yep. So I did want to mention, again, we already talked about Luke Korak's awesome piece, again, titled, if you want to read it, Blues got what they deserved in losing to another lowly team. But Ben Hockman, so this was after the Seattle game. Friend of the show, both friends of the show. Mm-hmm. He posted something on 128, January 28th. It was after the Kraken game on STL today, and it is not behind a paywall, so you can read it. The Blues have been winning of late, but in weird and unsustainable ways. Yeah. And when I saw that article post, I thought, unsustainable. That's the word. Like, I couldn't put a word on it. I'm like, they're winning, but there's no way it's going to last. They keep playing this way. And that's the word right there. A couple quotes from Ben in this article. He says, quote, in the past 3 wins, and remember the last 3 wins were the Northwestern road trip, so Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle. He says, in the past 3 wins, and really in the majority of their January games, the Blues have been outplayed. Sure, yes, they're on the winning streak. Still until the Blues start dominating games more times than not and don't need their I can never say this word. Indefatigable.
Where are we at here?
Awesome. Let's say awesome.
What is that word?
I hate that word. I can never say
indefatigable?
It right. Something like that. That sounds
What does
right.
that mean?
Awesome. Fantastic.
Come on,
great,
Ben.
Uncanny.
Nobody knows what that word is.
So let's just change the word. And they don't need their uncanny goalies to constantly make cartoonish saves. I'll remain cynical. This team can make the playoffs, let alone win in the playoffs. He also adds, as for these surprise wins of late, in the most recent one, Seattle outshot the Blues 36-18. I don't know which is more astounding. The Blues only got 18 shots, or the Kraken doubled that total, but the Blues won 4-3. In the game prior, St. Louis also conjured just 18 shots. Vancouver had 32, but the Blues won 4-3. And in the game before that, Calgary controlled the pace and took a 3-1 lead in the second period, but the Blues won 4-3. And I just, so well said, Ben. We got a couple things in here we can get to, but And I know he's just looking at shot totals and the lead change. But overall, you look at the game play. I mean, again, I talk about the offensive zone pressure. It's just not there for me. And good teams consistently win when they can get a little bit more pressure and jump on rebounds and forecheck well, which the Blues have done fairly well. But there's a reason why they're only winning in overtime. They're not winning games 5-1 at this point.
Well, part of the reason why they have they went on this winning streak, and we're getting outplayed in areas of the game that is not sustainable. Their power play and penalty kill over the last 6 games, even including the last loss to Columbus. They are the Blues power play. Let's see, is over the last 6 games, or 8th overall in the NHL. 27.3%, which is 3 for 11. Small sample size, but still. They're 5-1 during that stretch. Their PK over the last 6 games, 85.7%, which is 12 for 14. And their combined power play and penalty kill is 113%. So they're over the 110 benchmark that you want to be at to be a good team. So, and to be happy with your special teams. So that their special teams were helping greatly to carry this team over that win streak. The last 6 games, even including the last one where they didn't score a power play goal. So,
one thing, so we do talk about Money Puck a lot on this show. And in Ben's article, he actually had emailed the creator of Money Puck, which is Peter Tanner. So he asked him, like, what's going on with the Blues?
Friend of the show.
What do you think? And we had Peter Tanner
we
on?
had somebody from Money Puck on once.
It wasn't Tanner.
Okay.
Are you sure it was Money Puck?
I thought it was. Maybe not.
I thought it was like NHL numbers or something.
I
Let's
could
get
be wrong.
Peter Tanner
I
on.
could be wrong.
Who knows? We've had a lot of people on.
Yeah.
He says, short story is the Blues have gotten, and this is from Peter Tanner. Short story is the Blues have gotten lucky their past 4 games. They're scoring more goals than they should be, given the quality of shots they've gotten. At the same time, Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer have stopped more shots than they usually would. The Blues aren't generating more scoring opportunities for themselves or preventing their opponents from getting scoring opportunities more than they have earlier in the season. The Blues' luck will likely run out soon, and they'll continue to struggle to make the playoffs. They are currently at a 21% chance to make the playoffs. And now I will say,
You know what it
again,
sounds like?
Huh?
Who does that sound like to you?
Dom.
Yeah.
And I was going to make that. I was about to make that comparison. So when we talk about before, if you listen to shows 2-3 years ago, and Dom always talks about the Blues are going to regress back to their means because they don't fit my model, and it's just fuck you. Your model clearly isn't the end all be all. Learn to get with the times. The Blues are choosing quality over quantity. And I don't think that's the case here. I think it's different because I do think the Blues, first of all, they don't have that crazy dynamic offense they had. They don't have the talent they had those years ago. But I do think that this team, they're passing up good opportunities, but then they're not getting more great opportunities after they pass up those great opportunities.
It's a pop gun offense where they're one and done more times than they should be. They're not. They don't have sustained pressure, like chance after chance.
Like if it'd be a lot different to me if they pass up an opportunity, but then they hold on to the puck and they cycle and they get 1 or 2 more chances. Okay, that doesn't happen. That's what it was 2 years ago. Well, they pass up that opportunity, but they got 3 more on that shift. Like this team doesn't do that. They get 1 chance and then they don't take it. They lose the puck. Puck goes down the other way. They're hemmed in their zone for a minute. Like it's like you said, pop gun offense. It is very quick. And then when they don't get the chance they wanted, they're done.
You know what?
There's no more offense.
With the pop gun offense reference analogy, that has not been. I'm not going to blanket statement that for the entire season. It's like it comes in spurts over chunks of games. They have looked really good at times this season with sustained pressure in the offensive zone. It's not consistent. And Justin Scott does mention in here that this team is 12-2-2 in 1-goal games. So
That's a good
yeah,
point.
I mean, he's choosing to remain positive, and they won 5 out of 6 games. However, they did it. If they got outplayed in some games and got lucky to win a few of those, fine, whatever, they won them. But yeah, and I think Hockman's thing was, is that sustainable over the long haul? And I guess we'll find out. I know Justin Scott said that a lot is going to be. This team is going to have a lot to. We're going to be analyzing this team a lot more heavily coming out of the break than maybe we would otherwise, because we have some things to look at as far as.
I'm so interested. Somebody asked earlier, I think it might have been Baked Beaver, asked about, what do we see in the future for trades or whatever. It's such an interesting year for that, because it's like, do I want to see them? Because like I said earlier in the season, I think if they could upgrade somewhere, it's getting another top 6 forward. But it's like, do I want them to go get a top 6 forward? And I'm like, probably not, because this, again, I think is still a kind of a throwaway year to a certain extent. I don't want them to forfeit anything from the future for this season.
It all depends on what you got to give up, right? I mean, I'm always willing to get better. It just depends on what you got to give up and how long you're going to retain that piece you acquired. I'm always about getting better. But
the only way that I see it working is if excuse me, and it's probably not a great analogy because of what's happened, but if you get like a Jacob Vrana trade where it's like, we will trade and get a guy, but he's under term for next year, or like he's a, or we're going to be able to resign him to a cheaper deal. Like, that's, I think, the only way the Blues, they're not going to go get a rental because they know they're not going to win the cup this year.
Yeah, I would.
Do I want to see them get better and then maybe make even just a little run in the playoffs? Hell yeah. Why not? I love playoff hockey.
Justin Scott, the second part of this comment here, I'm all about it. He goes, I hate the argument that goalies are saving you. So what? That's what they're getting paid for. A lot of championship teams have won cups because their goalies took them there. Blues ran with Bennington, right? Dominic Hasek. I mean, my God, he took the Sabres all the way to Game 6.
Sabres team
at the final.
That Sabres team had no business being there. They were a good playoff team, but they were not a Stanley Cup final.
And I'll tell you what, every player on the team will tell you that they didn't have it team-wise, but it was all goaltending. And that happens. You got to have a hot goalie to win games consistently. You got to have a good goalie. I mean, nowadays, it's tough to win if you got a guy that's not, saving your bacon a few times a game. So, I mean, the teams are too good offensively, typically. So I 100% agree. I don't like people saying, well, you're only winning because this part of your team. Well, so what? That part of the team is paid to help win this team games. They're doing their job. I agree with you completely. That you can't knock a positive when it's helping you win. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just I do agree with Hockman to a certain extent. I think that over the long haul of the season, the way that they've been winning is a little unsustainable. You're asking way too much of your goalies. I'd like to see, and I think the defense has played fine. Again, I just think it's more of they're not getting offensive zone time or controlling the puck time to where it's the goalies having to move left to right, left to right, left to right, even though maybe, they're not getting shots. They're still having to work their asses off to make sure they're in position. So I do think it is. I agree with Ben. I think it is unsustainable hockey, but that hasn't been all season. I think that's late.
Exactly. It's over the past the winning streak and the game against Columbus. The last 6 games really he's talking about. And actually, no, the last 3 games. And then the game against Columbus, right? He didn't talk about the entire.
Yeah, I actually didn't. And I know this came after his article. I actually didn't think their game against LA was a mirror of the previous games. I thought the LA game was just a good hockey game.
And and I think he's really talking about a pretty small sample size as far as what's not sustainable. And I would agree with him that if you're getting outshot 36-18 every single game, you're probably not going to win most of those.
Yep.
But I don't, being outshot has been a common trend for the Blues this season, but not by quite that much either. So, I mean, let's be fair. It is a small sample size that he is referencing as far as not being sustainable. It all depends on how the Blues play coming out of break. If they continue to play that way, and if they're trying to win by still playing, with those results.
So we've got Justin, another great comment. Justin Scott, you take Connor Hellebuck off Winnipeg and you take Jake Ottinger off Dallas, those teams would be struggling. I think they'd still be in the playoff hunt, but I agree they would not be at the top of the Central Division. So I agree. Goalies make the team sometimes. Look at Tampa. Tampa had a great offense, but without Vasilevsky saving their bacon half the time, they're giving up 4 goals a game.
You take away the best part of any team, and you're gonna have issues. I mean, you're not gonna be as good. So I don't. Yeah, I think it's like a hey, I could, this is a good point. I'm like, yeah, well, you would like other aspects of your team to be better, and not have one carry you as much, ideally, but you still can't, say that, it's a negative to have one aspect of your team playing really well. I mean, it's still a good thing.
Yep. Well, let's talk about some more positive talk here. Robert Thomas is the lone representative for the St. Louis Blues at the 2024 NHL All-Star Game. The NHL All-Star Player Draft was tonight. Kurt, did you watch it?
I did not.
Neither did I. I'm just not interested.
I mean, if I actually didn't even think about it. I was busy. Life happens, and I, getting dinner for my kids, and they have homework, and so I forgot about it, and I didn't. It says something that it wasn't important enough to me for it to make me remember it, right? But if I remembered it was on, I would have probably stuck it on in the background or something. But
so I'll admit, as I told you, like, I couldn't have watched it if I wanted to. Apparently, it was at 5:00 Central. I literally had to be sitting right here at my desk for work. Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, see, I didn't get home until 5:30.
Yeah, so I was working till at least 6:30, if not a little later. So, I mean, I could have put it on over my shoulder, but what's the point of watching a draft if you can't see what's happening? A hockey game, you can pop your head up and be like, oh, okay, it's 1-0. I can watch for a second, and you turn back to the computer. Can't do that with the draft. So and Justin Scott here, Kurt just pulled this up. Did you guys see that Thomas is even in the passing challenge? That's so stupid to me. Yeah, apparently he's not even participating.
No, he's not in anything
in this skills challenge.
Which is, I mean, and there is some thought that maybe he didn't want to.
Right.
That's, I don't think it was. I read some stuff, and they weren't really clear on if he wasn't participating because he wasn't picked, or he just didn't volunteer, didn't want to, didn't care to, whatever. They have a passing drill. He's one of the best passers in the game, better than some of the guys that are participating. So, to me, maybe he just didn't really want to. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible.
I would think he'd want to. I think they would have him, right, if he wanted to.
I mean, he's going to be there, they're all going to be there. So I would just feel like if he's going to be there, he'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I bet he'll at least be passing for the what's the rapid shot one?
There's only 12 players, but I think all the players are going to be maybe they won't be. In the past, weren't they all just kind of there, but not?
Yeah, they were all there always. So I guess maybe not this year.
That's
weird. I don't know.
Only 12 would seem like that. Just seems like there's gonna be no players out there.
Very low.
So
12, 4, 8, 12. So that's only 3 players per team, really?
For the skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems really stupid.
I don't. Are they doing the skills competition by team?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Skills. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm
anyway,
for Will Arnett. That's
Oh, exactly. Well, and that's why I was happy. I was going to say that so they've got the 4 captain. Well, this is so dumb to me. There's 5 captains.
Yeah, because they have to
but
have the
4
Hughes brothers,
teams.
right?
Yeah, Quinn and Jack Hughes are co-captains of their team. What the fuck?
It's like the
ever.
Sedin
That's so
twins.
stupid.
They just can't do. They can't do anything separate.
Well, I just don't get why they can't, like, whatever. Anyway, is Jack Hughes even in the All-Star game? I don't even think he's playing. I think he's just like a co-captain.
Oh, wait, yeah, he's not. He's not on the team.
It's so stupid. So dumb. Anyway, so your captains are Connor McDavid, and then each team also has a celebrity captain. So Connor McDavid had Will Arnett, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, I hope that's Robert Thomas's team. We'll get to that in a second. So Jack and Quinn Hughes, they have Michael Bublé. Austin Matthews is with Justin Bieber. And Nathan McKinnon, I'm going to ask you, Kurt, on the spot, who is Tate McRae?
I was just going to ask you the same thing. Who the hell is that?
I know who that is.
Who is it?
I actually am a fan of Tate McRae. I know I'm an old man. I'm an old creepy man to being a fan of
look
her.
it up.
She is some people are calling the Canadian Britney Spears. She's young. I don't know how young she is. She's probably still a teenager.
Hopefully,
but
she makes better life choices.
I hope. But I tell you what, I like her music. I'm into it. I know.
Yeah,
but hey, I like pop music. I'm not gonna
pulled
lie.
her up. I see pictures. Yeah, you like her music.
I do like her music. You need to watch the music video for
the video. Yeah, see the music video.
No, shut
Not
up.
the song.
Guilty.
The video.
Guilty music video is filmed in a hockey rink, and she wears hockey pads.
Well, yeah. Well, she's Canadian, and I see a picture here.
She drives a Zamboni.
She has pads on.
It's so
she
cool.
She has a hockey glove on another picture here. I mean,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, okay.
I like her music. I think it's catchy. It's not.
She's like a cross between. Her face is a cross between maybe Britney Spears and Punky Brewster.
I could see that actually. It's not a bad call.
Yeah. She's got the freckles going, and then it's a Punky Brewster.
I will be honest. I am into her music.
Solil
I think
Moonfry.
she's talented. I've always really enjoyed pop artists that can dance very well. She has got great dance moves. So I'm a fan. Mark me down as a fan.
All right. Okay.
It's not a sex thing. Shut
Whatever.
up.
It's not always a sex thing.
It is not.
Great guy. It's always a sex
Britney
thing.
Spears is a sex thing. I'll give you that. But I was always way into Britney Spears. Yeah. Tate McRae, I just think she's talented.
Okay.
I appreciate her.
I'm not knocking her talent whatsoever. I don't know. I didn't know who she was. So
Ken Morris, you can stop listening to the show right now. I am offended. He says, I'm betting Jeff is a Swiftie. I am not. I despise Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
First of all, she is way overrated. Her music is not anything special.
Okay. Is that her fault?
For those,
Is that her fault? No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
I don't get it. I don't get why she's popular because I hear her music and I'm
so
like,
do you hate Taylor Swift or do you hate the hype?
Okay. If we're going to talk about the NFL stuff, I don't give a shit about that.
No, I'm not.
Way overblowing that.
I'm
I don't get the hype either about her in general.
No.
Like, I just don't.
I think she's. I don't know.
Sorry, I hate to say this, because this shouldn't matter. I don't think she's that attractive, so that's not part of it. Like, I see that, and I'm like, that's not part of the reason why she's famous.
I think she's plenty attractive. Yeah, sure.
No.
Yeah.
No, she's got a weird face.
You have a weird face.
Her music is way overrated. She's not that good of a dancer. She's okay, but she's not like, again, not like a Britney Spears or Lady Gaga. Let's see. What else? What else do I hate about her? I don't understand why she gets to go out with every single guy in Hollywood. She dates everybody. But then a girl like Lady Gaga or
Wait, hold on.
Katy Spears.
You said it
yes,
twice.
I'm saying
Gaga. Why are you saying Gaga? You said it twice.
Because it bothers people.
Okay, it bothers me.
That's exactly why I say it like that. And then or Katy Perry or whoever. I don't understand why they get labeled sluts when just because they write music about being with guys, but then Taylor Swift gets a pass.
You think she gets a pass for that? I think she gets a lot of criticism for writing for all the guys she dates.
but I'm saying the particularly the slut shame goes to most other women in Hollywood. She never gets it. And I'm not saying she should.
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's not fair that every other woman does, and some reason she gets a pass.
I don't think she gets a pass. I mean, I see plenty of criticism, but I don't know. I just don't really care. I don't seek her out. It doesn't, I mean, I think she has some fine songs. My daughter likes her. I don't know. And
Shake It Off is her only good
Shake It
song.
Off's a great song.
Yeah.
But and the NFL thing is just kind of like people are upset that they're seeing her on TV. I'm like, I don't
That whole
care
thing's stupid.
whatsoever. Who cares? I mean,
I don't get why people are so upset.
I think
She's there supporting her boyfriend. Good for her.
With Kelsey has a touchdown and does the whole heart thing up in the air, they'll show her.
Oh, I think that's awesome.
Why? Who cares? Why not?
Yeah,
they're not cutting away from game footage to go to the box. There's nothing going on the field.
That's one aspect that I do not agree with the Swift haters.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, why?
I think,
who cares? It's kind of fun. Who cares?
I mean, there are a lot of. I mean, I don't know. I think if any artists I don't like or don't care for, I personally, I just kind of tune them out. I don't know. Or so the Germans would have you believe.
Yeah, I don't know what that's in reference to, but anytime I see that, I'm putting it on the screen. All right, back to the All-Star game. Right. So again, Team McDavid with Will Arnett. We're not going to go through the whole rosters here. You can look them up, folks.
Nobody cares.
That was the team.
Nobody cares.
That was the team Robert Thomas was drafted to.
Yeah.
So if you are going to have a rooting interest, root for that one. It's got McDavid and Draisaitl out there, as well as Robert Thomas. So I'm trying to see who else real quick. I do like Boone Jenner, but he's probably the one guy that shouldn't be there.
Justin Scott.
Either way.
Justin Scott, you're wrong, Justin Scott. The NFL is not rigged. Come on. Now,
you know how many people would have to be in on that conspiracy?
Well, some things are rigged, like the Rams moving. That was rigged.
Oh, that is 100% rigged.
Games are not rigged. Come on.
Yep.
Let's be real. Settle down. Take a step back.
Samadana. All right. Hang on. I'm having issues here. Here we go. Okay. So All-Star game coming up. That is what's next up for the Blues. If you're interested this weekend, I don't have the times listed because honestly, I will probably turn it on in the background, but not really pay attention. I've stopped caring about this event in its entirety. And it sounds like I'm not going to give a shit about the skills competition anymore either.
I'm gonna record both, and I may have something going on Saturday afternoon at some point. So I'll watch it at some point at my leisure. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. I'll watch it when I have time. I enjoy putting it on and just vegging and just maybe in the background, like you said, or just kind of flop down on the couch and throw it on for a while and just
my friends and I used to make it an event for the skills competition, and last couple of years I just have not, like, it's just so hokey. And I know they said
I hated last
year was horrendous.
You know what? Every year before last year, I was always like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, whatever. I still put it on. I still enjoy watching it, to different degrees each year, whatever. I don't care. The people that come on and say that, oh my God, I hate it so much. It's a waste of time. They should never do it. Do away with the All-Star game. Like, well, don't watch it. Just don't watch it.
Then.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, some people might like
this...
it, or some. I like having the option to put it on in the background and look up every now and then and see what's going on. That's fun for me.
I consider this a break from, like, because part of it's for the podcast, part of it's just because I'm a fucking insane Blues fan. I consider this a little bit of a break in the middle of the season for me to just be like, hey, you know what? You don't have anything planned for the next week. Just relax, watch whatever the hell you want, watch a movie. And it's just kind of like a little break for me, like from like kind of forcing, I don't want to say forcing, that's a bad word, but kind of like being like, I'm going to watch hockey tonight. I don't have to watch it for the next week if I don't want to. So that's the way I view it.
They should just, they should have a break of maybe 2 weeks during the season and have a tournament.
They're talking about doing that.
USA, Canada. No, not USA, Canada, but 3 teams, 4 teams, whatever. Nations. I'd like to see nations. Go
They're
ahead. Like
starting
World
I
Cup of
guess
hockey, do it. I
I
don't
guess
care
they're
when it is.
starting to see how people get excited over the tournaments the MLS does. Because I know the NBA is starting to do that, and I think there's talks in the NHL of doing something like that too.
With the NBA going to it, I think it's just a matter of time for the NHL to do it.
Yeah, agreed.
Which that'll be interesting because with the NBA, I mean, I'm not going to say there are less injuries in the NBA, but hockey is a violent sport.
Mhm.
NBA is not supposed to be. Technically, but it is. But not near as. I mean, guys can get. Well, how would you feel if a mid-season tournament and your best player goes down with a season-ending injury?
We've seen that in the Olympics. We saw that with Keith Kachuk, right?
So, I mean, that's rough. But
Yep.
with that said, some of the best hockey I've seen ever has been some of the World Cup of hockey.
Yep.
I went and saw a game in Columbus, USA versus Canada. It was a warm up for that tournament. It was a practice game basically, and they went at it. I mean, they wanted to win that game. It wasn't even a tournament game. It was amazing. That was a great game.
So Ken Morris says best All-Star games were All-Stars against Cup winner or NHL All-Stars against Soviets.
And that's before my time.
That is, it's before my time too, but I've seen those games, and even back in the early 90s when it was, you had the Gretzkys, the Hulls, the Lemieux, the Kevin Stevens, even, guys like that making the All-Star game. I don't know, maybe it's just nostalgia speaking, but I feel like they cared a little bit more. And I'm not saying I don't hate that the players don't care. I get why they don't care. It's just, for me, it's a marketing event for the NHL. It's just, I have no interest in it.
I can't. I mean, it was before my time, but the NHL All-Stars versus the Soviets, that was, I guess that was Cold War era stuff, or pre-Cold War. Just I guess pre-Cold War, maybe
In that
Cold War.
area.
Yeah, that had to have been amazing. Like live.
I've said before, I think it would be really cool if they built teams and they had like a little, kind of like they have it now with the mini tournament. They have a 3-on-3, but you add in maybe one female player per team. Maybe you add in an NHL alum. Like, come on, you're telling me that wouldn't be more fun than the bullshit we see now?
You saw the shit that people gave for spewed for just having that mini women's game. That's in the All-Star in between. Was it the women played USA versus Canada?
Yep.
They played like, was it 10 minutes or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Or one period, or 3 short periods, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was.
But people came out of the woodwork. I hated that. There was one goal, wasn't there?
I don't remember.
I think Canada beat USA 1-0.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Either way, I just think, if you want to try and change it up and get more views, I think you got to do something other than we'll bring back the player draft. Like, you got to do something else.
So what the Baked Beaver says here is what I think I've said this before, that I agree with this.
I think said this too.
Or to a certain extent, a version of this. He wants to see the actual fastest skaters, the actual hardest shot, etc., because we need individual competitors that are the best of the NHL. I agree. So each team having its own skills competition, and the winners of each of those categories then go to the skills competition.
100%.
And then the All-Star game could actually be something different. You don't have to have the most skilled, and the All-Star game is the vote in for the fans. I don't know. That's I would love to see, because then you've got the actual fastest skaters, the actual hardest shots going head to head. Why?
I think I literally said this last week.
Did you really?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, well, I think we've said it before on the show too in previous years.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, it's come up before, and it's a great idea. I mean, I don't know why they don't do that, because each team has had their own skills competition before.
Yep. Yeah, they used to do them. I don't get it. I loved going to that when I was a kid. I thought it was awesome.
So.
All right, and then the Blues will not play again until the following Saturday. So this is their mid-season break, February 10th, 12 o'clock in Buffalo. So 12 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. So they'll be in Buffalo then. So a week after the All-Star game. So we'll have a show next week, but we'll see what it entails. I doubt we'll be
talking All-Star game.
All-Star game. Yeah, we are not doing that. So rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. We had Elias Lindholm traded to the Canucks by the Flames for Kuzmenko. Calgary also received Vancouver's first-round pick and a conditional fourth-round selection in the 2024 NHL draft, as well as defenseman prospects Hunter
Bruce Witz. Bruce Witz.
It's literally BRZ
Braunschweiger.
to start his name. What the hell?
Braunschweiger.
That's stupid.
Krushelnyski.
And Yanni Yurmo.
Zipchinski. Hunter Zipchinski.
Yeah, Zipchinski. There you go. And Yanni Yurmo, which is a great name. So basically, Vancouver, they gave up a haul for Elias Lindholm, and I think that is one of their biggest needs. They needed a good second line center on their team. They're going for it this year. He's potential to become a UFA this year. He has 32 points in 49 games for the Flames. They gave up. I'm drawing a blank on Kuzmenko's first name, but
do you think Elias Lindholm uses Carl Lindbaum's car lip balm?
He has to. Everyone should. Andre Kuzmenko. That's right. He had a great season last year, but he's fallen off this year. There are some people saying in Calgary that if he can find that scoring touch again, this is a very good trade for Calgary too. So I do think this is a good trade for both sides.
Kind of like when trading away Kachuk was a good trade for them.
Yeah, great trade.
Remember that? Oh, they got a haul in return.
I saw somebody say that they could put him on a line with Huberdeau and he'll bring back Kuzmenko's scoring touch. And I'm like, Huberdeau can't do shit out there. What are you thinking? So interesting trade, but Vancouver's definitely loading up, going for it. We'll see how far they can go in the playoffs.
If they don't win, they might burn the city down again.
Let's hope not. Although we did get that great photo of the couple kissing. You remember that?
Yeah, that was staged.
Great picture.
Yeah.
It was
like a social media thing. They were influencers or something at the time.
It was still cool though.
Yeah, it was cool.
That picture.
It was super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, unless you got anything else, Kurt, I think we're done.
Let's shut her down, Earl.
Shut her down. Sorry to all those women out there who were concerned about Bill. Don't worry, he's fine. We just want to let you all know it's okay. He's just dealing with some personal things and has to deal with life, unfortunately. But I expect him to be back next week, and hopefully that will be the start of the new Bill Day segment. There
won't be a goal to review over the past week, though.
Fuck. That's true. Well, unless a save from the All-Star game.
Maybe there's a great save from the All-Star game. Yeah, we can.
There might be. There usually is at least one or two really awesome saves,
or something during the skills competition. No, there won't be.
Yeah. Yeah, they have goalie stuff. They do, right? Maybe.
Yeah, but
breakaway challenge save or something.
Yeah, but do we ever really talk about the amazing save made? Not really.
No,
it's like the amazing goal scorer.
We can.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe the save of the season so far. We'll do that.
We could do that. There's a couple candidates out there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Mike Burgoyne from Real Brokerage Realty. Email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today for all your home buying and selling needs. That's mike@strikewithmike.com. That will wrap up episode 17 of season 13 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Kurt Price and the absent Bill Day and producer Austin, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Team McDavid.
Let's go Will Arnett.
We can all agree on that.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?